Hello and welcome to the Flightless Nerd Podcast, the show that gets you up to speed on all your nerdy needs. My name is Jeremiah Larnard.
My name is Doug Pilcher.
I screwed it up. I'm John Montgomery.
You did screw it up. We are the Flightless Flock today. Austin was not able to join us today, but maybe next time. But if you still want to see his beautiful face, you can go check our Twitch stream from Friday. We were all playing Get Packed on Stadia. So if you're interested in actually seeing us play some games, there you go. It's up on Twitch. And if you need that link, it's twitch.tv/flightless_nerd. Also, we have Discord. We have links out there. You can check our Twitter, but if you come to the Twitch page and you type in !Discord, you get a link to our Discord, and you can come join us for our weekly conversations about all the stuff that goes on that we don't necessarily talk about here on the podcast, or that we do. I don't know. There's a lot of random conversations going on in that thing, so it's nice. So come hang out with us. We like it. Also, our secondary podcast, Flightless Flicks, is out now. Go check that out if you're into movies and stuff and want to hear more of Austin, or if you want to hear Sean Lavell's sexy voice. I don't know if you guys have heard him talk in a while, but
yeah, he's got a good radio voice.
He's got a great radio voice. He is made for this. Not gonna lie. Anyway, I don't really have any segues into this, but before I do, you guys want to talk about anything before we get into the news?
Yeah, buckle in because this is a depressing episode.
The first bit's depressing. It's heavy subjects. We were now that we're on Discord and we actually have people to converse with outside of emails and stuff like that. What I do is I actually ask ahead of time if anybody in our Discord wants to have us talk about certain subjects or stories, and the two requested stories are a bit heavy, so just giving you a fair warning. These are going to be serious topics for the first couple of, and then we'll get into something a little bit lighter. Hope you don't mind. Hope we do this justice. If we don't, please don't be too mad at us. Okay. The first subject, or the first news story, is last week a Twitch streamer went by the name Wreckful. His real name was Byron Bernstein. He was a big WoW player, had almost 1 million Twitch followers, all that stuff. He actually ended up committing suicide last week, or the week before. Yeah, it was last week. He had depression, and as somebody with depression, I can tell you that it's really no fun, especially when you get to your lowest lows. He apparently went on Twitter and had a bad night on Twitter. People were trying to get a hold of him and saying, "Hey, what's going on?" And he wouldn't talk to anybody. And then they found out a little bit later that he had actually decided to end his own life. Once that news came out, a really cool thing happened where basically the entire World of Warcraft community got together across multiple servers, all that stuff, and basically paid respects to the gamer. He'd been a staple of the community for a very long time, and there was a lot of outpouring of support for him, outpouring of support for his loved ones, stuff like that. And it was really cool to see just gamers in general kind of come together in solidarity for someone that was so beloved within their certain community. We kind of see this stuff happen every once in a while, and it's good to know that people still care. And it's just unfortunate that we can't necessarily show the people that need it the most before these tragedies happen. It's a tough subject to talk about anytime that you're talking about depression or mental illness of any kind, really. But a lot of us deal with it like, and I say a lot of us because it's a human thing. It's not necessarily a gamer thing. It's not necessarily, you know, a poor person thing or a rich person thing. Black, white, you know, skinny, tall, fat, white, you know, whatever Ludacris says. It's just something tough to, you know, get a hold of. The best thing I can tell people is if you know somebody who has issues with depression or mental illness, it may seem tough, and it may be something that they don't like you for when you do it, but be there for them no matter what, you know, even if you feel like giving up on them, because a lot of times what happens is they've already given up on themselves. So if someone that you love gives up on themselves and then no one's there to still be there, you know, then they think the world's given up on them. What chance do they have at that point? So even if they're like, no, go away, stay away, don't. Even if they end up hating you, at least they're still there to hate you.
Well, a lot of times too, people, they mask that too. A lot of times when you hear about somebody that has committed suicide, you know, they'd be like, "Oh, he was the happiest person. She was the happiest person I've ever talked to," you know, and all of a sudden it comes down. I just had a friend commit suicide a couple months ago, actually, and you never would have known just by talking to him.
Yeah. Sometimes it's tough to tell.
Yeah. Just be there for everybody. That, like, if you care about someone, be there for them.
Don't be a shit person. Even when you're just being unanimous or anonymous online. You know, because you never know what somebody's going through when you're talking to them. You know, whether it be someone you know or someone you don't know. Everybody has their own story. Everybody has their own issues. Everyone has their own demons. If you are one of those people, if you're one of those people that is having issues, don't feel afraid to reach out, especially to the people around you, because, you know, your friends, your family, even if you're fighting with people, if you come up to somebody who has been in your life and you're like, hey, I'm having a really tough time, I just need somebody to talk to, there are people out there that will talk to you. And even if you think you have no one in your life that will talk to you, or you're afraid that everybody will judge you, there are numbers you can call. The Suicide Prevention Hotline, 1-800-273-8255. That's the national one here in America. You know, there are every country's basically got one. You know, if you feel like you need someone just to talk to for a night, don't be afraid to actually talk. Give yourself a chance. You know, it's tough. It's tough to ask for help. I know that from personal experience, but when you do, it's better than not, because if you decide to do something rash, or if you decide to hurt yourself or even end your own life, that pain still lingers. It just doesn't linger with you anymore. It lingers with the people that loved you. And that's something we should all try to remember and try to make sure it doesn't happen, because if that's one thing this world doesn't need right now, is more fucking pain. And I hope Byron rests in peace, and that the people around him can, you know, continue to live their lives and all that stuff. It's good to see that there's an outpouring of support for people like this, and I hope that if anybody's having issues, you know, and they hear this, that they reach out to someone they love, or if you think somebody's having issues, you give them a call, because time is finite. Our time here on Earth is finite, and it doesn't hurt to make sure you let people know you love them.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna let you have that one. You said it well.
Yeah. This next story is somehow even worse. But it needs to be talked about. This is a lot has happened this week, and this time we're gonna talk about Smash Brothers and the fighting game community. Apparently has been just absolutely rocked in the past couple of days. I'm just going to read this paragraph. Nintendo has released a statement on the cascade of sexual assault stories coming out from the Smash Brothers fighting community. Over 50 prominent players have been outed for various sexual crimes, leading to a statement of sweeping condemnation by Japan's gaming giant. And here's the statement. At Nintendo, we are deeply disturbed by the allegations raised against certain members of the competitive gaming community. They are absolutely impermissible. We want to make it clear that we condemn all acts of violence, harassment, and exploitation against anyone, and that we stand with the victims. So yeah, apparently within the FGC community, mainly the Smash community, there's a bunch of people being accused of sexual harassment, pedophilia, rape, and all sorts of other things. And it is goddamn crazy out there, because a lot of them are just straight up being, I don't want to say canceled. Their sponsors are like, we're out. They're losing their livelihoods. A lot of them have apologized already for stuff they've done in the past, which was like, yeah, we did it. And it's like, holy shit. I'm not huge on Smash, as you can probably tell by the way I've talked about it on the stream a few times. So I don't know much about that particular section of the fighting game community. Well, I mean, but it's still goddamn crazy to me, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's not necessarily just Smash. I think that's all communities within every type of universe, you know. I mean, there's assholes.
There's assholes in every section of the community. But the thing is, when it comes to fighting games and competitive gaming in general, when you say these prominent people in the community, they're usually talking about a group of 500 people or less, you know. And like, I mean, there's millions of people that play Smash. There's millions of people that play fighting games. But when you talk about like esports in general, like, you know, you have your top League of Legends players, you have your top, you know, like Call of Duty players that, like, if people are into watching competitive sports or esports, excuse me, they know who these people are. And that's the same way with, you know, that's the same way with the fighting game community. There are like, you know, a couple hundred different people in like that play different games and all that stuff. And within that, there's sub communities of each game. But like, you can name a few people, and like everybody in the fighting game community knows like Sonic Fox, right? Because he wins everything.
Well,
you know, and he's
I even know that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And those are the type of names you think when you think prominent. And this is like 50 plus people that are known names in the Smash community that were all just outed, you know, last week, and it's just like, what's going on?
I honestly think you'd be surprised though how much more of that's going on behind closed doors.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
totally.
Like, just because it was 50 or so in this community, it just so happened that, you know, it's kind of a Me Too type of thing. Like, this person's outed, so then this person comes out, and that tends to happen. Like a couple years ago, you know, you had the actual Me Too movement, and all of a sudden, all these movie stars and directors and stuff are getting, you know, pushed out in the open. I think when it's more of a niche-based thing, as far as somebody within this niche, how do you pronounce that? Niche. This person is sorry. I'm just trying to bring some sort of uplifting content to this, but I think once somebody comes out in whatever genre, we'll go that way this time, is outed, you know, then I think people within that community also it kind of gives them the confidence to come out, and kind of ride the coattails of that, and bring all of this to light. So I don't think it's necessarily just the fighting community. I think that's just the group that is, being outed at the moment,
Yeah. And you're right, because it's, if anything, the past couple of years with the Me Too movement and, just internet being more open about information these days, it's shown that it's tough to be the only person to speak out. But once the first person speaks out, it makes it easier for the next person, and so on and so forth. So that's why you kind of see these things snowball, is because as soon as you go, oh, I'm not the only one. Yeah, like I want my voice to be heard in this conversation too. I want to tell my story, because that's what it is. Like a lot of times, it's unfortunately with allegations of sexual harassment or rape or anything like that. It's one of those things where it's like, I have a story to tell, but it's 20 years old, like I can't really, there's nothing more I can do other than tell my story, and a lot of time there's not much evidence, unfortunately, to be able to go back and prosecute people who may have committed a crime, and that just sucks, that a lot of times it's like, well, what can we do? We can tell our stories, and if we can get the person to now say, yeah, I fucked up, then it's like, all right, well, yeah, you ruined your life. Congratulations. That includes today. Get out, and that's what's happening with a lot of these prominent gamers, is it's like, well, you can't rape a 15-year-old and then still be okay 10 years later. Like that's not something you can do, like, saying something stupid online, which I'm sure eventually something I have said on this podcast in 10 years will be really dumb, and people will be like, oh, he said this 10 years ago. It's like, well, you can grow and change from saying something stupid, but you can't grow and change from hurting someone.
Yeah.
Like that can ruin, or that usually does ruin someone's life. It's like, no, you don't get to walk away from that. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
I don't think there should be, like, I don't really go for the whole cancel culture stuff. I don't think, like, oh, this person said a dumb thing once, so he should be completely deplatformed.
Well, and another issue with that is, not to downplay the whole sexual harassment side of things, but there are also people out there that accuse somebody of something that actually didn't happen. All of these companies just bail on this. It ruins this person's life, and then it comes out that it didn't happen too. So you have two sides of that there, which it's a difficult thing to balance.
Yeah, it's that's the thing. Like, when people say believe all women, it's like, yeah, you should. It's not necessarily saying, all right, you should believe them full stop. It's believe them that they have something to say. If somebody has allegations, what should happen is there should be an investigation. There should be, every road taken to find out the actual truth.
But see, that's also the reason a lot of people won't come out and speak up about things, because they think people aren't going to believe them. They think that they're going to cause all this trouble too. Totally right. It's a like, touchy.
Like, women are totally right, because you see what happens if, like, a woman, like, look at any of the sexual harassment claims of any prominent, like, politician, or any prominent movie figure, or anybody who's, like, a multimillionaire. It's like, as soon as somebody comes out, the first thing that happens is you have the internet mob literally go, yeah, you're lying, blah blah blah, and that's not easy to take. Like, a lot of people can't take becoming that infamous,
especially if they start doxing him and everything. It's just,
yeah, and it's really tough for people to kind of be like, yeah, this happened, because there is that you have to worry about, which sucks. I wish that wasn't true, but that's why I say, like, if somebody does come out, they're gonna face that regardless, especially when it's about somebody like a prominent figure in just mass media or any entertainment industry. If they're willing to put their sanity on the line at that point, you should probably listen to them, and you should probably get to the bottom of it. And that's not saying that sometimes there aren't people that go out and lie to try and ruin people's life. There are bad actors out there. But I think like
that's what I was getting at with the cancel culture thing. It's just
you got to be careful with it. But like
99% of the time, it's true and everything.
Yeah.
It just also sucks when you hear about these people where their lives are ruined because of a false claim too. I don't know how you
claim statistics. I think were like 3% or something.
Oh, that's higher than I thought it was.
Like it may be less, but I think it was like it's less than 5% for sure. I think it's less than 3%. But at the same time, it's like, all right, well, you can't go, oh, just because there's a few people who lie, doesn't mean that you should go, all right, that means everybody's
no, exactly,
it's
sure.
usually the exact opposite. It's usually they're telling the truth, and that's why people say, hey, believe women. Like your first instinct should not be, she's probably lying. Like, and I think that's where the believe women, tagline comes from. It's not because a lot of people, like when this all first started, the first instinct for a lot of people was like, they're lying. Like they're just trying to get famous. They're just trying to make money, and all that stuff. And it's like, no, like that's not how you should think. You should go, oh, you're saying that happened? We should look into it. Like it's not necessarily saying you said that happened. Okay, let's throw this guy in jail.
Yeah.
It's like, no, let's figure out what the hell happened. Why would somebody feel the need to come tell us now?
Most of the time that's a he said she said type of situation too, though. How are they gonna
that's like that's
what are you gonna do there?
And I mean, hopefully a lot of the times if like there's some pressure put on the people that did actually do something horrific like this, they'll come out and be like, and they'll admit it, be like, oh yeah, like I totally did that. I'm sorry. And at that point it's kind of too late. You can't say I'm sorry, but like it's good when they admit it. And what happened, and this kind of segues into the next part of this story. The co-founder and president of EVO, Joey Kohler, I think that's how you say his name. He basically got outed for 10 years ago being a pedo. He was messing around with 17-year-old boys, and everybody was like, yo, no, you can't do that. And he was like, I did something wrong. I am working on being a better person, and I'm sorry that this happened. And at that point, it's like, dude, you're sorry you got caught. Like, somebody, like in this day and age, if you're a prominent figure or if you're running a company and there are people's jobs that depend on you, if you've done something in the past, it's better, like, honestly, like, it's going to ruin your life, but if it comes out, it's going to ruin your life. But like, if you want to like be the good person in that situation, you got to be like, yeah, I fucked up, I'm stepping aside. And I wish more people would do that. It's like yeah, like I know I fucked up, and that's the thing, these people know they fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know where does that line end though? I mean,
if you fucked with teenagers as a grown-ass man, that's the line. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
fucking get down, go away. Like, and you did that. It's not like that's not something you go, hey, maybe I did it.
No,
you know what you
what I'm saying is just coming out in the open and saying that if you're that kind of person, I mean, I can tell you right now, nobody's going to come forward and be like, I did this, put me in prison,
That's the problem. Like people will go, I'd rather keep a secret and keep my status than like be a good person.
I don't know if it's just their status, it's their freedom. Because your life is over the moment you come out with that.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have diddled teenagers.
Well, I agree, but at the same time, I mean, I agree for sure, but
fucking take your lashings. And
I don't know.
Maybe if you did something, or if
I'm not defending this guy, by the way. I'm just playing the devil's advocate there.
And maybe if it's like, oh, I did something kind of fucked up, but it was like I didn't rape anybody or anything like that. I made a bad choice. I think his thing was he like asked 17-year-old kids to flash them, like take their pants off and show them their dicks or something like that. He didn't touch them. From what I've read, he like never did anything he didn't do any inappropriate touching, and everything he did with them was inappropriate. But it's like at that, like that's a line where it's like that's fucked up. But if he would have come out first and been like, "Hey, I fucked up. I did this. I'm stepping away." That's something that you may be able to like be like, "All right, that was dumb. I made a mistake.
That's still child pornography, though.
Yeah, totally. Like,
so you're still going to prison.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing. Take your fucking lashings, and then come back and be like, all right, yeah, I screwed up. Like, that's like, if I can come back and be in the public eye. I don't think you can ever be in the public eye, but at that point, maybe you can I don't know, at least have a somewhat normal life after you take your punishment. But I mean, yeah, it's just I get it. I get why nobody would, because that's something that somebody with real big balls has got to do, to be like, yeah, I fucked up. Like, this is what I did. And I'm saying this before anyone ever, even comes out and...
Yeah, I'm just saying that's never going to happen with anybody, though. They're not going to just come out, own up.
I wish it would. I
wish it would, but it's not going to happen. But outside of that, I completely lost my train of thought here.
Yeah.
Anyway, Doug, you got anything to say? You've kind of just been chilling back here, staying out of this.
I'm letting you guys roll with it. Yeah, I think you guys can handle it. You guys got this covered.
Literally, the way you segued into asking Doug, I was like, are you going to ask him if he has any bad stories from his childhood? It's like, no.
This is some heavy
I'm not accusing
stuff.
Doug of anything. What are you talking about?
No, I don't know, man. This
what about
world.
you, John? You got anything?
Yeah, John. Yeah, you gonna come forward with any stories?
No, I don't have any stories. No.
Well,
not that I would regret. I don't think.
The end of the story is the end of the story is, I hope the people who were assaulted got vindicated. But the short term end of the story is that because Smash and the co-owner of EVO basically have been shit canned. I don't know any other way to put it. The EVO was just going to be online because of COVID this year. They're just outright canceling this year. And that's probably the best move they can do. Is just be like, we're not, no event this year. This is we gotta get our house in order for next year, hopefully. So I feel bad for anybody that was working EVO that was depending on that for a little bit of income, especially in these tough times. That sucks. I hope that other tournaments start popping up to kind of replace EVO this year, so that people can still find jobs.
Yeah, that's your big one.
Working that. Yeah, I love EVO.
That was the first article you wrote for the website.
Yeah,
when you came
first article was the games, or the announced games for EVO. That was holy shit. It's been over a year already.
Yeah. This whole gaming environment is just getting poisonous. Honestly, like, we were talking to a member of our Discord the other day. Was talking about how her daughter has problems with harassment online. She's 10 years old, I believe is what she said, and she's got people that are harassing her already. It's just ridiculous. And then you have other people like that. Oh, whatever that was her name. The girl that sold her bathwater. What's that girl's name? Yeah, you got people like that. That's only just like building on that culture. Just doing these idiotic things like this. It's I don't know.
And also the tweet from Laura Bailey, the person who plays Abby in The Last of Us 2.
Yeah, she's getting death threats.
Yeah, her and her family are getting death threats for playing a character. I'll tell you what, this is to anybody who may have been like, I'm going to be a dick online and listens to our podcast. If you ever think it's okay to send death threats to an actor, or death threats to an actor's child, or somebody who develops a game, and you go, I don't like your story, so I'm going to kill and rape you, you're a garbage person, and you probably should delete yourself from online. Honestly, go away. Like, nobody loves you. Like, you're a horrible person. I hope you die alone.
This comes from the suicide talk we had a minute ago. Good grief. No, I mean, I don't disagree, but geez.
No, death threats are not okay. Like, even as an outlet, if you're depressed and you're feeling bad and you think the outlet is death threats, no, you're not depressed.
Well, especially for somebody, she just read the script. It's not like it's something she wrote. It just people are after her, and all it was she read the script, acted out the voiceover, and then People are after her now.
Death threats are never okay against anyone. Like fucking, that actually pisses me off. Like if you're gonna send death threats because somebody did something that, like an actor played a role that you didn't like, so it's now okay to tell them that you're gonna kill them or rape their child. No, fuck you. You're a garbage person. I don't give a shit about you. Like, you know, that's not depression. That's not like mental illness. That's an asshole. That's being an asshole. Like, you know, anybody who thinks that's okay is a garbage person.
Yeah. I just don't understand the harassment anyway. I don't understand trolling in general, to be honest. Like, I get that
because
people.
You can be online and you're anonymous and you can say whatever you want, so it's like the fucking Wild West.
I mean, I get that, but I don't know. I just don't see the fun in it, to be honest. Like,
I don't either.
I don't
get it. I can't even fucking play like the evil person in RPGs.
Yeah. Can we get into some good news?
I just don't have that switch on me. Like that, I'm gonna be that asshole. Speaking of good news, yeah, let's go into something a little.
Let's get away from this heavy talk here.
Let's talk about Microsoft. Microsoft, as you know, has a new console coming out this year. It's called the X. I know, right? It's crazy.
There's Doug. Doug's back.
Microsoft has announced the Xbox Series X, and we have seen some third-party games for it that everybody was like, "Hey, this presentation sucks," because they didn't have any first-party games. But Microsoft told people, and people got hyped, and whatever. But Microsoft sent out a tweet that on July 23rd, so in 3 weeks, 3 weeks from now, they're going to have their Xbox Series X games event, which is their first party games event. So we will see all the new games, and we talked about this last week, the possible games that
I'm just going to point out that Microsoft reserved a placeholder Twitter tag for Fable. That
we talked about that last week.
That's coming. I'm just going to point that out here.
You need to listen to the episodes.
I do listen to them occasionally. I just want to point that out for. I just want to point that out for anybody that would like to know that Fable is probably coming.
Fable is Perfect Dark. Both have placeholder Twitter tags.
I don't care about the other, but Fable.
Anyway.
I care about.
And Fable. This has been a weekly ASMR segment too. Thank you for tuning in.
You know why Fable's an amazing game?
Because it's awesome. Button. It does have a fart button, and you grow. If you're good,
how many games have a fart emote?
If you're good, you get a halo, and if you're bad, you get devil horns. Okay. Back to
one of the best, still one of the best alignment systems in a game.
It's so good. It's such a good game. I want it so bad.
It is. Oh, I want Fable real bad.
All right, let's reel it back in.
Back to the Microsoft games.
Okay. So there's that. The Fable maybe announcement. If they have that and the rumored smaller Xbox Series X for like $200 or $250. Because that's a rumor right now. Is like the small one's gonna be super cheap, but still powerful, like more powerful than an Xbox One X. If they have that, I will have an Xbox on my shelf just to play Fable. Like I will pay $200 to play Fable. Like that's how much I love that game series. Lockhart or something like that. But I don't think that's supposed to be announced during the game event. I think that's supposed to be announced next month. That's the rumors anyway. If it's on PC, I don't have to worry about it.
I was going to say, PC is pretty likely, though. So
most Xbox games are usually on PC at this point. So I would be legitimately surprised if they're like, no, these are Xbox-only games. Because they haven't done Xbox-only games in how long now? Like, what was the last game that was on Xbox but not on Windows?
I don't even know.
Exactly. Doug, any idea?
Nope. You asked me like I follow that kind of thing.
I know. I just wanted to throw you under the bus there.
Does anybody follow that kind of thing?
I know. You guys just like to hear my voice sometimes.
I do love to hear your voice.
The fans do too. We've had requests for you to talk more, just so you know.
Oh.
We have.
Okay.
I've had
Free
requests.
copy of Watch Dogs
I've had
2.
requests for Doug to talk more, and I've had requests for Jeremiah to talk less.
Wow, somebody actually requested me to talk less.
No, I'm just giving you a hard time, but it's
Was
true.
it you? Were
It's
you
true
the
though.
one requesting that I talked less?
No, but it's kind of true though. But okay. Anyway, back to Microsoft.
No.
Jeremiah just goes quiet now. Doug, talk more.
Microsoft.
Where'd you leave off? I'll keep us moving here.
Yeah. So
We're gonna
the Microsoft Series X games event will be July 23rd, and we should see a bunch of first-party games. So this should be like the answer back to the last to the PlayStation 5 reveal event. This should be the actual answer back. In my opinion, two ways that Microsoft can kill it is if one, Fable, duh, and two, they drop a price. If they drop a price this go around for the new console, then they're ahead of Sony at this point, and they have to drop it. And they have to drop the price in a price point where Sony.
That's what I want to say. They'll drop a price, then Sony will lower their price and then drop it. That's what's going to happen.
I don't know if Sony can lower their price though. I don't know. Like Microsoft can take a hit on their consoles because it's Microsoft. I don't think Sony can. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think Microsoft's going to hold out still.
From Twitch, less gaming news.
So,
Oh, sorry, Doug. I didn't want to
I
interrupt
was
your only
trying to
sentence in
talk
the,
and
in the whole show.
Wasn't me this time.
Doug, you have the floor.
I was going to say, I think they're going to hold out. Like, I know we're all getting antsy for a price, but I think Microsoft's going to hold their own and wait for Sony.
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. Honestly, like I think there won't be a price, but I just in my brain that's like, hey, if they drop a price, if they're the first ones to like pull that trigger, that puts them ahead. You know, like because everybody wants like, what the fuck are the price on these games or these consoles now? You know?
Yeah. In the Twitch chat here, I just want to point it out before we forget. Ubisoft, July 12th, is having a conference. If you tune in for that conference, you get a free PC copy of Watch Dogs 2. Just to throw that out to the people that are interested in owning a free copy of Watch Dogs 2.
Oh yeah, totally. If you haven't played Watch Dogs 2 yet, do. It's a really good game.
I haven't played it, so
It's a really good game.
I
really like Watch Dogs 2. I enjoyed Watch Dogs 1, but I understand it was a mediocre game, especially compared to what was like originally shown for Watch Dogs. But Watch Dogs 2 is actually a lot of fun. I enjoy it immensely. I always, it's one of those games I think about going back to a lot. I just don't have time. Yeah, and then of course, also our producer Wes has let us know that another state of play will be in August. So it'll be a pretty jam-packed month or so of like gaming announcements and all that stuff. But that's okay because Ghost of Tsushima comes out next week, so I can wait.
you can't refer to him as our producer, Wes. It's going to be my buddy Wes because that's what everybody's come to know him as.
That's true. Yeah, sorry.
My buddy Wes.
Mr. West? Is this a different Wes? Is there a new Wes?
He's now my buddy Wes just because that's his name now. So
my buddy Wes. Well, he contributes so much to the show.
He does actually.
People know him.
He's our
buddy Wes.
Live
He's our
fact.
buddy Wes.
He's basically a producer.
So
He's our live fact checker.
Yeah. For those listening, we were just chatting in our Discord one day, and Wes chimed in with something, and somebody else asked, "Are you my buddy Wes from chat?"
I got a good laugh out of that, and that's why you should join our Discord because we have fun. So yeah, I do. I want a price for these consoles. I'm getting impatient because I'm just like that. Also, speaking of buying things, and no, that was terrible.
WD, are you going for the WB thing here? Is that where we're going? Okay.
I was.
Just give up on the transition.
I mean, it would have been okay, but then you stalled, and then it was just bad.
Yeah.
like I second guess myself.
Microsoft wants
do
Warner
better.
Brothers.
I'll do better.
Games.
Games. For those of you who don't
interactive.
know, or
In other Microsoft news,
yeah, totally. And WB Gaming,
Interactive.
excuse me. They are selling. WB is selling their interactive studios because they're basically cutting the fat out.
What is that, like Batman games, basically?
Batman games, Mortal Kombat games.
Oh, that's WB? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the NetherRealm Studios is owned by WB, and a few other game studios and stuff like that. AT&T is selling WB Interactive. That being said, there have been a few companies that have shown interest in those IPs. So you have last week, I believe, EA, Activision, and Take-Two kind of put their hat in the ring for buying that. And this week, Microsoft was like, yeah, we're kind of interested in that too. Which is kind of huge news because basically, if you're looking at it from the superhero standpoint, PlayStation has Spider-Man. If Xbox gets Batman games, that's a huge get.
Yeah, but I don't think Batman's as big as Spider-Man, though. I don't. As far as a franchise goes, I don't think I agree. I don't think so. That may be a baseless claim, but I don't think. Like what are this? Yeah. No, I'm just saying, like, what are? Obviously, there are more Batman games and stuff, but as far as
WB also, like, well, the Harry Potter game that's been rumored, the Harry Potter RPG.
That's true.
Like, that's also WB. Like, huge IPs are under WB's name. But yeah, I think right now. Okay, yeah, I think right now. Basically, WB is all of DC too. It's not just Batman. So, like, I think they have the licensing to do all of DC games. And then, yeah, if that Harry Potter game gets announced, like officially announced, because it's been leaked a couple of different times, and it looks amazing. But yeah, all that stuff being exclusive on Xbox, that would actually do that company really good. Like, I love being able to play, my Batman games on whatever I want to play them on. But yeah, Batman, like, being developed by Microsoft, like actually having a huge budget.
Yeah.
Because I know Rocksteady already has a huge budget, but yeah, I mean, it could only get better at that point, unless it's better than EA. Like, could you imagine Batman by EA?
Ugh. I can't imagine anything by EA anymore. I'm kind of over EA
games lately, and I'm not happy with them.
I'm over EA, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, about the only thing that EA does, I don't want to say good, but decent, is like sports games now, to be honest. And
I've been playing those sports games from EA lately, and they're all fucking terrible right now. Not gonna lie. Like, yeah. Well, I'll talk about that later, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if who buys this and if they actually get sold. Yeah, I think AT&T purchased Time Warner for $109 billion in 2018.
Yeah, the interesting thing is AT&T owns it right now. Like, it just doesn't seem like something that AT&T would mess with, which I guess is why they're selling. But
well, they bought Time Warner, which media conglomerates monopolizing. That's just a thing now. But apparently they're in debt right now, especially with this whole COVID thing and all that stuff. So they're just looking for ways to pay that down. And I think like it says here, WB Interactive is potentially valued at like $4 billion. So if they sell for like $4 or $5 billion, that's a chunk of their debt that's gone. So it makes sense from a business standpoint. It's like, man, we don't really care about video games. Let's just sell it off to somebody who does. And these companies have billions of dollars to throw around, so I don't see why. I mean, Batman for $4 billion, that's a steal. Batman and Mortal Kombat for $4. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I'd sell for like that. I mean, like I was saying, I still don't think that Batman's as profitable as Spider-Man, but if I had the license to Batman, I would definitely hang on to it if I could.
Yeah, I mean, whoever buys this is like keeping it. I mean, like,
they have the license to Batman. Just they don't care about video games.
Well, they have
Yeah.
watchable Batman, just not playable Batman.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, like all the WWE movies and shows and
Yeah.
all that stuff. Those will all be still owned by AT&T. It's just the video game licensing. Like
Yeah.
mobile games and video games and all that good stuff. Like, I don't know. Like, it'll be interesting. I'd be okay with the Xbox. I'm trying to think who else I'd be cool with them. I mean, obviously Sony. But that's just because I'm a Sony fanboy. But I'm just trying to think like third party.
I don't think
publishers.
Activision would be bad to handle it.
I don't know. What was the last thing Activision put out?
Put out that was good.
Okay, yeah, put out that was good.
I don't know. I just have faith in Activision.
Take-Two would be.
They handled my Tony Hawk game.
I think of the current options, Take-Two might be my top choice. Just because I don't necessarily want to see it as an exclusive.
That is true.
I don't want to see it as an exclusive, but I'm also.
But they have lots of money at their disposal to throw at making good Batman games. So,
I mean, as long as they keep them.
Microsoft does.
Yeah, as long as like Rocksteady kind of gets to continue being a development studio under it, I don't think Batman's got anything to worry about, especially the next one.
Yeah, a Rockstar Batman game, Wes points out.
Yeah. Well, yeah, fuck it. Make it
Right,
memory.
exactly.
But
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
yeah,
I want a Rockstar Sonic game. I think that would be awesome. Just to point that out.
yeah, that would be kind of cool.
Open world Sonic.
Okay.
Just to,
Sonic.
I think it would be awesome.
I'd have to think about that. But
Well, you can just keep thinking. I think it would be awesome.
as long whoever buys WB Interactive, as long as the studios under WB Interactive stay intact, like I said, Rocksteady and NetherRealm Studios and WB Games and all that stuff, and nobody really loses a job, I don't think there's going to be much difference in the short term. Like long term, like I'd be afraid of like if EA bought it, it'd be like, oh, microtransactions are going to be super heavy. Batman. Blah.
Oh,
But-
you want more batarangs?
Yeah, you have to pay for your batarangs.
oh my god.
You ran out of grappling hook cable. You have to
You need
replenish
to
it.
fuel up the Batmobile.
That'd be my biggest concern.
Well, it's $2 a gallon.
It just sinks to the current gas price.
Oh my god.
Whatever the current gas price is what the price of the Batmobile fuel is.
Could you actually imagine? Like, just actually imagine, like, oh, I have to fill up the Batmobile. I never thought I would do that. All right. What do you mean I got to pay for it? Shit. Yeah, so like I'm mostly okay with like the sale. I'm worried about microtransactions if it's like Activision or EA that buys this thing, but yeah, I mean, like as long as the studios stay intact, I don't think the games that come out of them will be any different, or much different, I guess I should say. It's just that's all above my pay grade.
Your Batmobile auto insurance is about to expire.
Thank you, Katie. Appreciate that.
It's seasonal. You just have to buy the season pass for that.
Yeah,
Oh boy.
you gotta renew plates. Yeah, Batmobile have plates.
I think you're right. Like the studios stay intact. That's one thing, but then it'd also be interesting to see what other studios they'd be able to have working on it.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I just want to see more of that Harry Potter game. Have you guys actually seen gameplay of it yet?
Harry Potter?
Was
Yeah.
there a leak like a long time ago? I
Like
feel
a
like I
year
saw
ago.
something, but I could be
It
completely
looked
wrong. Okay,
amazing.
yeah,
So it's like, oh man,
that's
the
all I'm
first
seeing,
one.
but it's been a while.
Are we talking about
Yeah.
we're not talking about the Pokemon Go Harry Potter game,
No,
are
no,
we?
no,
Or
the actual like RPG.
No, that's awful.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that's already out, right? I never
Yes.
even
yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so I don't know. It's an interesting thought process. I'll be keeping an eye on it, because I'm interested in the business side of video game stuff too. So that'll be fun. Speaking of the business side of video games.
Ooh. That wasn't bad.
Game prices have been $60 for AAA games for a very long time.
Nailed it. Stuck the landing. Good job.
Over 10 years now. I think they went up to $60 at the beginning of the Xbox 360.
360.
Correct?
Yeah.
I mean, there were PS2 games and stuff though that were $60.
Well, like deluxe editions and stuff like that. But like, as a normal ass price.
2005, 2006 is what Wes says. Producer, my buddy Wes.
My buddy producer Wes. No.
He already coined it. Producer, my buddy Wes.
Yeah, all right, cool. Producer, my buddy. Anyway, yeah, in 2005, 2006, that's kind of when the price of games jumped, and everybody was kind of expecting it for the new next gen games, and it's been $60 for a really long time. That being said, NBA 2K21 released like an ad for the different versions of the different consoles and all that stuff.
I have a problem.
I do too, but let me finish. But the biggest thing that a lot of people, it was a pricing chart. The biggest thing that people were seeing, or the first thing people noticed was, hey, the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One X versions are $60, whereas PlayStation 5 and Series X versions are $70. $69.99. And so we're probably looking at a price jump on all video games from here on out, up to $70, which we're due. So I mean, I'm not really surprised because like that. But I believe I know what John's about to say, but I'm gonna let him say it before I chime in.
Well, okay, we'll just keep going with your topic here for a second, though. Okay. I get that it's justified that it goes up to $70 because I believe that if you counted for inflation, it should be something like $78 compared to the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2. Yep. I can't remember whatever console it was. That was just what they figured out, about $78 nowadays if you accounted for inflation and cost of living and all that junk. But at the same time, I rarely buy full price games nowadays. I mean, I may buy one a year. Most of the time, I'm hunting for deals. So,
I know.
And I find a lot of deals too. I get screwed on some of those deals because usually right after I buy the game for a deal, it comes out to be free on PlayStation Plus or one of the other platforms. But that's beside the point. But man, $70. I don't know. I get that it's justified, but that makes me want to buy them even less. So I don't know.
Here's
as like a single guy that was able to just throw away money like that. Maybe you're paying rent and stuff like that. Which is Jeremiah. That's probably not as big of a problem. But convincing your wife that you want to drop $70 on a video game, it can become a problem. Especially when there are other things, it always comes up as in like, oh, you need to fix this or that or whatever around the house, and you want to drop $70 on a video game rather than fixing this thing that I probably should be responsible for to fix. So, I don't know.
Well, here's my issue with it, and it's not the $70. I don't mind the $70 because we're due, for a price increase on games. Prices increase on shit all the time. We're probably looking at paying $600 for the PlayStation 5, and yeah. What bothers me is the marketing, or the I guess the corporate speak around this issue, because what people are basically saying when they go, yeah, we're justifying this price, is the cost to make these games is going up. The manpower cost, development time, all that stuff, because they're big games, and It takes a lot of manpower and resources to make these games. They're going up in price. I'm okay with that. The problem I have with it is, then why the fuck are you still doing microtransactions in your games? Like, if you're going to say, we're going to increase the base price of the game up $10 to cover the cost of development, then you need to take microtransactions out. Hell, if you increased it to $80 and took microtransactions out, I'd still be okay with it. Because at that point, you're just trying to make free money. So don't give me the crap, hey, development cost is going up, and then like when you release a game, you go, oh, if you buy the super duper $200 version, you just get better microtransactions.
I wonder how proportional.
Developers still get paid crap and worked into the ground to make those games.
Yeah.
Like how about you pay your developers as opposed to like,
here's a 16-hour, 7-day-a-week crunch that you have to get through for 3 months, and then I guarantee you that doesn't. Yeah, I guarantee you that doesn't get passed down.
Oh yeah,
to
by
them.
the way, no overtime.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off is they're like, hey, we're increasing the price because of development costs. Okay, I can handle that, but don't be putting microtransactions, like don't put slot machines in my games. You know?
I wonder how
Isn't that
proportional.
what those are for?
I wonder how
surprise mechanics, like bad. Stop it. Like if you're going to keep putting these and making money off of these microtransactions, cool. But games shouldn't be they shouldn't increase in price. Like if anything, they should lower in price because you guys are making your money on the back end at that point. That's what mobile games do. You make them free, and then you fucking make people buy for the shit that they want. That's what Fortnite did, and Fortnite is one of the most profitable games in the world. If you want to do that, cool. I don't mind you giving me a free game and going, all right, now you got to pay for the extra shit. Cool, but don't give me a $60 game and go, oh, we're increasing price to $70 also to buy better shoes for your basketball player. It's going to cost another $5 per shoe. Like,
also the price of shoes is going up. It's $10 now.
Yeah. Oh, to make your player better in the game. If you want to buy skills, you can. Just give us $100 extra.
Oh, you want to rent the gym for practice time? Yeah, that's going to cost you.
Yeah, that's what pisses me off.
So while we're on shitty business practices, you want to go into this whole NBA 2K thing, 2K21, because that's where I was assuming you were pushing me earlier.
Oh, just how NBA,
so okay.
in general is terrible at their business.
Well, I'll just read this paragraph and then we can talk about it a little bit. Yeah. Already, the NBA 2K21 pricing for special edition hints at future headaches and confusion. The game will not utilize Microsoft's Smart Delivery feature, which would upgrade for free the games purchased for the current generation of Xbox to the Series X. So basically, the Smart Delivery feature, for those that don't know, if you have the game on the current Xbox, you can upgrade it to the new Xbox. So they won't utilize
a lot of the newer games on PlayStation as well, like that too.
Right. So
Cyberpunk's like that too.
Already you have to purchase it again if you want it on the new console. But they're also going to charge $100 for a Black Mamba Forever edition, which features late Kobe Bryant on the cover and will include the next generation game when it releases. So.
Yeah, so they're charging you half the price for the game to have the second version of the game.
And they're exploiting a guy that died in a helicopter crash to make those sales. Mm-hmm. I have a problem with that. It's fine if they want to charge $100, you get 2 copies of the same game. If you're stupid enough to do that, I guess I can't say you're stupid enough to do that, but if you're willing to pay $100 for 2 copies of the same game, that's fine. But the fact that they're using somebody that tragically died, as the, I guess, the push to make these sales, I think is just trashy.
Mm-hmm. It's too soon.
Not even just too soon. Like anybody, I don't know. It's just
honestly, I thought Kobe was going to be just the cover.
Well, that's the thing. If they just put him,
somebody else was going to be the cover, but then they're going to sell a special edition that's Kobe.
That's the problem. If you want to honor the guy, put him on your cover and say, "Oh, this is the greatest player ever," or whatever, or in memory of Kobe Bryant. But instead, they're saying, "Okay, you can pay more and get him on the cover because it's a limited edition and it won't be around long because somebody else will die here in the future and we'll use them instead." Like it's ridiculous.
No, I agree.
I don't know. I just think that's terrible business practice, and I already wasn't a big fan of the NBA 2K games anyway. But it makes me think very lowly on them now. I don't know. It's just ridiculous to me.
let's put it this way. I actually enjoy playing the NBA games. I do. I don't buy them. I sure as shit don't buy them. Like NBA 2K19, like it was on sale like 5 months or 4 months after it came out for like $3, you know, because they were like, oh, we're just
it's free on PlayStation right now.
Yeah, it's free on PlayStation.
Plus.
That was 2K19, and then 2K20 literally today, as of recording, came out for free for PlayStation Plus. So
Yeah.
I got 2K19 and 2K20 for less than $3, you know, total, and I have both the games now. And I'll play 2K20. I actually downloaded it today. I'm gonna play it this week. Like I like playing the NBA games. If it's as bad as the EA games that I've been playing lately, like fucking with the microtransactions and just how they push people towards buying like, you know, card packs and shit like that, I can't handle it, man. Like I can't do sports games anymore if that's the case. Like if they're all like this, because like with NBA, even with 2K19, I could go into fucking like, you know, your creative player career and all that stuff and just play that and not even play like the regular teams and all that stuff, and just like it gives you a story, you know, you can upgrade your player, you level up as you practice, all that stuff, and I can have hours and hours of fun at that. But you know, like let's put it this way, I was playing Madden this week. It's like, yeah, they give you a creative player and all that stuff. It's very limited, and once you get in, there's a story, but it only lasts for like 4 games, and then you're just playing the games over. Like they put no effort into like, you know, playing your creative player career. And then I tried franchise mode, and it was just like it felt no effort in the same way. And it's like, oh well, all right, let's see what this Madden Ultimate Team thing is, and all the efforts put into that Madden Ultimate Team. It's like, all right, so because they're making so much money on these damn microtransactions, it's ruining the rest of the game. And I can see why people are mad about it. Like, imagine spending $60 and they just go, yeah, we don't care about the shit that you actually paid for. We just want you to pay more for the extra card packs and shit. And it's like, that's fucking gross. Like, I don't know. And
I get it in mobile games because 90% of the time they're free.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily have a problem with that. If you're willing to spend money on a mobile game, that's fine. But I don't agree with them in console games. Or PC,
I mean, if you're gonna
games,
be like,
or
hey, the cost of development goes up in these games. That's why we're going up to $70. Like the next God of War, if it comes out on PS5 and it's $70, cool. No microtransactions. I completely understand that game being $70. Fucking sell it to me for $100. I get it. That game's worth $100. The next Spider-Man, no microtransactions. It's worth $100. You know, like it would suck to pay. It sucked if like games were that much, but like some of those games are worth it. But then as soon as you start putting microtransactions or surprise mechanics, if you're EA, in these games, and you're like, oh no, we're still increasing the price because of development costs. It's like, no, you're making hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars on microtransactions. You don't need to tell me you have to increase the price, because now you're just taking home the profits, and then you're still screwing me out of an extra $10 or $20. Not cool. Like that's why this is leaving a bad taste in my mouth. And I'm sure this would be a completely different conversation if the first game announced to be a higher price was like a normal AAA game that didn't have microtransactions like 2K. But the fact that it's 2K, like especially after the slot machine bullshit that they had going on, I don't know. It's annoying. It's annoying that this is how
they just outright said, "Hey, we're gonna play slots for these cards." At least they're honest with it. They showed it. It was in their ad, wasn't it? That you could play slots for it.
Yeah,
it was in the actual
like
ad.
Watching a roulette wheel, being all happy. And shit. And I was like, God damn it! Like it's literally gambling for children. But if you're gonna put slot machines in a game, rated M. Period. Don't care what kind of game it is. Yeah. So, yeah. This is news to you, congratulations. We're the first to tell you that from now on, for brand new games, you'll be paying $70 per game in the next console generation.
Just for at least for 2K.
Nah, it's probably gonna be for everything. Like I think this is a shoe dropping. I think everything we'll see is gonna be $70. I mean, not indie games and shit like that. Those will still be like $40, but AAA games. Yeah, you can go ahead and I'll call it $70 next console generation.
We'll see.
That's it. That's all I got news wise. Actually, that's not all I got, but they told me I couldn't have any more stories.
Yeah, we did actually. Actually, Doug did, which has said probably 4 words the whole show. So
he doesn't want to listen to us ramble for that long. While he's actually counting.
He's
All
counting.
Right, yeah. So that has been the news. If you like our news segments and there are things that you want us to talk about, join our Discord and tell us what to talk about, because I pulled a lot of the stories from Discord. So it makes my job easier, and also it kind of gets me involved, or you guys involved with the show as well. So please come do that. And yeah, I'm just trying to pimp our Discord again. Anyway, now for our favorite segment, where we don't have to talk about drama and other people, we get to talk about ourselves. That's my favorite thing to do. What's on your plate, Douglas? I know you've been talking about this game for weeks. How is it?
I'm glad you asked. Well, I've been busy playing Creta, which came out last week on Stadia, free for Stadia Pro subscribers, so go check it out. And it's basically a game that is within the game a game creation engine. So you go in and build these worlds, put down meshes and voxels, and build the environment out, and you could do all that with like just the controller sitting in front of your TV and build whole games that way. Or if you want to dig deeper into it, you can use a keyboard and mouse and actually like dive into the scripting and get real crazy with it. So
what language does it use?
What's that?
What language does it use for the scripting?
The game scripts are Lua, and then building the UI is HTML, CSS, JavaScript.
Okay, so HTML, pretty easy, pretty basic. I mean, it's not daunting if you've never done anything like that. Let's put it that way. I assume it teaches you.
Yeah,
I don't know anything about Lua.
And there's plenty of like pre-written scripts that you can go in and look at. I knew nothing about Lua before going in.
Yeah,
I just kind of taught myself from what's already there.
What do you do about assets in the game? Is it just pre-loaded assets?
It's all pre-installed stuff right now, but they're working on an actual like uploading your own assets pipeline,
which means they're going to
be adding more over time.
Asset stores, microtransactions. Got it.
No.
I'm just kidding. No, I'm just saying in the future. No, but it looks cool. I'll be honest, I haven't looked into it as much as you've talked about it, but I didn't realize that there was actually scripting in the game until you sent a thing last week, and I found that out. So I'm actually very interested in it. I'm not sure how much more I want to go into learning a new language right now, because I got something else going on that I'll talk about in a minute. But it looks really interesting.
It's nothing too crazy. It's not C++.
Yeah. I was
fuck. And there's obviously limitations to what you can do in it. They've kind of narrowed it down to they've got this art style that they decided on, and that's what all of the characters and meshes and everything are. But you can still get however creative you want to be, and once you can start updating or uploading your own stuff, you can do whatever you want, really. But so there, a big part of it is being accessible. So they've made it super easy. You can just like jump in and do stuff with like just your controller, even if you know nothing about building video games.
Yeah, I was watching this guy make like a skyscraper or something on there. It's pretty cool how they just kind of like can chain it together as they go to build these things.
Yeah, and then on top of that, being collaborative, so you can have like, I think the servers are like up to 20 people right now, but they're planning on increasing that soon. You could have like 20 people in this one game editor building out the world and collaborating on the scripts and stuff all at the same time. So they would do streams of the game, and they would have like 5 people in there and throw together a game in like an hour and then play it for a little bit. And then when you're done with your game, you publish it, and anybody else in Creta can go play it. And they've actually set up a prize fund. So like the top game or like the top 8 or 10 games every month actually get payout. And there's just top overall game, and they're doing a top new game category. And I think they've also done like a black creators category as well. And then in the future, I don't know, talked about other ways you as a creator can monetize your creations.
In the those games they can't be standalone games though, right? They have to be played through Creta to be right.
Yeah,
Does that make sense?
I mean, you can.
Yeah.
You can't like export it out as a game on its own, right?
I mean, it's in Creta, and it's more that it has to be played on Stadia. Like you can create a link to play your Creta game that you can share. Like people go on Twitter and say, like, I made this game. Here's the link. Go play it. And that's more showing off. Creta's the first Stadia game to feature Google's or Stadia's state share, which is one of the big features they talked about early on that got a lot of people on board that people are mad about wasn't there when it launched. But hey, it's here now. And Creta's the first to use it, and in pretty interesting ways. So you can like I said, create a link to just jump into a game of the game you created, or you can share a link to have people come join you in the editor and help you edit the game. And that can be a permanent, like you have this bookmark that you want to jump right into editing this game from your desktop, or it can just be a temporary, like you're on stream and have people come join you in the game. So that's very cool stuff. I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight. You've been spending your time while after work, in which you work, you code to jump into a game.
No, that struck me. That struck me a couple days into it. Like I'm spending my free time digging into code,
not getting paid for doing what you do for a living. All right, cool. You gotta love it. If you love what you do, you never work.
Yeah, but it's more fun in the end to be able to play this game that I created.
I appreciate it. I will if you get it done in the next couple of weeks before my Stadia ends, I'll play your game that you create.
Fair enough. That's all I've had going on. How about this? Seems like a good transition to John.
Yeah.
What do you have going on?
Well, Skater XL as always. I'm pretty much on the Skater XL boat now. I mean, I've got like 60 hours into this game. That's probably the most. That's probably the most I've played a game in years. But the nice thing is it's passive, man. You can sit down for like 10 minutes and just mess around and do whatever, because there's not really like any specific goals or anything, you know. You just I'm trying right now. I'm kind of working on I want to do like video parts for each map. So like, because there's actually like a realistic or quote unquote realistic video editor, like recording type of thing in there, so you can make like cool like old school clips and stuff. So I've been playing around with that just on some of the different maps. But I mean, everybody knows I play a lot of that game. I have been playing some of Control. It's weird.
Right.
I'm not far enough into it to know if it's good or what. But I think what Austin said, like pretentious game, or was that you that said?
That was me. I said it's pretentious. Like the storytelling is pretentious in that game. Like, do you see what I'm saying now? Like,
I don't think I have a problem with it.
I don't want to say I have a problem with it. It's just the way it is told, or the way it's presented in the beginning is like, I use the South Park reference. It's one of those games that would sniff its own farts. You know? Like, it's not necessarily a bad thing, like especially if your farts smell good. Like, but it just feels like that to me. Yeah.
I'm not sure. There's a talking gun in it, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'm not sure how I feel about that. That's kind of weird. It kind of whispers to her. So I get what they're trying to do with it. I don't know.
Side point from Jeremiah: if your gun talks to you, you should probably get rid of your gun.
Yeah. There you go.
Did you ever get the talking gun in Borderlands?
No. Was there actually a talking gun in Borderlands?
Yeah, you get like some AI or something chip, and you get to turn it. You can either turn it into a shield or a gun. But like, so if it's a gun, it's like every time you shoot, it's like bow, 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 bow. Actually saying things.
Well, so there's a talking gun, and the item that gives her psychic powers is a 5.5-inch floppy disk. There's some weird elements to it. So
it's like weird 80s sci-fi. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
But it does have that like noir feel, you know, where she's like a detective almost or something, the way she talks.
And are the people that are talking to in those like weird flashy scenes, are those live action? Like those are live action, right? Like I'm remember that correctly.
What do you mean?
Talking to the director, and then it's actually whatever. Like there's flashy scenes where like
there's like
yeah,
get like that white.
The
flash.
Pretentious way it tells its story with live action, like I said, I'm not trying to sound like down on this game, but I think it was just too much for me.
It's
I never
fun.
Felt the urge to go back to it. I mean, the powers are fucking cool as shit.
Yeah, I'm not far enough in to give a full judgment on it, but it's fun.
Okay.
I'm paranoid at the point that I am right now. Yeah. But it's getting to the point now where like I start out like, this is freaky, and now I'm just kind of numb to it almost. It's kind of like when you're in like the 3rd or 4th season of The Walking Dead. By that point, you're just kind of numb to it, and you're just like, okay, so.
Well, the way it was presenting its story to me, like honestly, I was rolling my eyes at the way it was presenting his story. Like it was just like, all right, I get what you're doing here.
I don't have a problem with the storytelling, but
it's and that's the thing. Like I don't want to. Like I know I sound like I'm giving this game shit. Like it's fun. Like it was actually fun when I played it. But if the story doesn't like entice me or make me want to like figure out more, because like if I play a game for a couple hours, I'm like I don't really care. Then I probably won't go back to the game. Like story wise, like I'm just a story addict when it comes to games. Gameplay can be great, but that's not necessarily unless it's a fighting game.
Don't get Skater XL then, because there's no story.
See, there was a story in Tony Hawk.
Some of them, depending on which one you play. The Undergrounds, yeah, and like Wasteland and stuff.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just at that point in my life where it's like, give me a good story. Like, give me something I can sink my teeth into. That's what it takes for me to really get into a game anymore. But I've been spoiled for the last couple of years. I really have been, like story games.
I don't have a problem with the game right now. It's a little weird, but I'm getting to the point where I'm kind of ready for something new to happen. It's kind of a little repetitive at the moment, so sure. I'll just leave it at that for now. I've been watching some more Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's a pretty good show. I'm into it now.
The cartoon.
Yeah, the cartoon. The Last Airbender. Oh yeah. The cartoon, not the movie.
Just keeps watching the movie over and over.
Yeah, I've seen the movie 85 times now.
How do you guys not like this movie?
Yeah.
Let me tell you the entire plot right now.
No, it's a good show. I mean, yeah, you already said that. You already said it doesn't count as anime, but I like it
by definition. Yeah, it's American anime, but it's not anime.
Twitter's waiting for you to criticize my plate. So go ahead. What do you got wrong with Avatar?
No, I'm only it's actually a good show. Like I have no qualms with Avatar. Like Avatar is actually a fun show to watch. So
I said Twitter. I meant Twitch, but
yeah, I am hoping that it opens the gates to maybe getting you interested in more actual anime style.
I don't know if I can get into the whole slam, punch, smack stuff.
It's not all that.
Most of it is.
You're watching the wrong anime.
You know what you need to watch? Honestly, like it's actually a very interesting story, and it's an anime called Death Note.
I've seen the. Wait, I may have seen the first episode of this. Is it on Netflix? Or
they made a really shitty live action movie.
No, yeah, I've seen that. Yep. That's stupid. But
may have been on Netflix for a little while,
maybe.
but
I want to say
yeah.
it was like a really dark, like black and almost black and white theme to it.
No,
Color
well,
scheme.
but it is darker. But it's a mature story because basically it's about a kid who finds a notebook who, if he writes somebody's name in it, they die, and he decides what he wants to do with that notebook, and it's actually really good. Like the kid's like a super genius, just because he's really smart, and then like it's worth checking out. Like it's a very interesting, like it's one of those like crime dramas that keep you on the edge of your seat if you're into that kind of stuff.
Hey, I did watch One Punch Man. That counted, right?
Yeah, One Punch Man totally counts.
Okay.
One Punch Man's great. Like
Yeah.
it's stupid fun. I like stupid fun stuff. That's why I watch Fast and Furious. So.
They're nailing you on the Twitch chat. I don't know if you've been paying attention.
And
but
for anybody who's listening on the audio podcast, Katie is giving me shit because I'm critiquing them. No, for the past however long it's been, I have been trying to get John to watch like different animes because I think he would actually like them. So this is just my sales pitch ad again to John, because I already got Doug on the train. Like Doug will be like, oh yeah,
Hey,
but
you didn't get me on the train. You introduced me to My Hero Academia. That's
well, I
I
mean,
was already on the train.
yeah. Well, we all started out watching Dragon Ball Z together, and John's like, I'm not gonna do it.
I just can't. I can't dedicate that time, man.
I'm surprised Austin made it as far as he did watching vanilla Dragon Ball Z.
I just can't. I just can't put that much time into it, man. If those,
I can't either at this point. Like I love the original Dragon Ball Z, but it's like it's a lot of fucking show.
There's a lot of show, and like I would say 70% of the episode is just non-storytelling, and I just can't do it, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like if you don't want to do like punch kick anime, yeah, like check out Death Note. Watch a couple episodes.
I'll give it a shot.
If you don't get into it after 3 episodes, then you probably don't need to watch it. You just
Then we'll find you another one to watch.
Find you another one. To watch.
I know. I've been kind of looking at this My Hero Academia. That sounds pretty interesting.
It is punch kick anime as well, but it's actually really good storytelling. Like the characters are really good. So
okay. Well, the last thing I've been doing, Doug alluded to a while ago, Unity's pretty well pissed me off. So
I was actually kind of wondering when that would happen. Like
they're just, I don't know. I don't want to talk down on it because Unity is a great system and people can make great games on it. But I've been working on a game for it's actually been more than 2 years now. And some recent things they did, it rendered a lot of that useless. And there is going to be a fix for that in the future, but they haven't dropped any updates about it or anything. So right now I'm just kind of at a standstill with it. I don't know. I don't want to talk down on Unity. Don't get me wrong. It's a great platform, especially for somebody that's looking to get into video game development. I would say that's probably, outside of using like one of those kind of auto-generating game creators, I would say that's probably the easiest way to get into game development. This creative sounds pretty interesting because you can actually script and everything in it. But I'm just to the point where I kind of want to move on. I've been working around issues with Unity for a while, but oh, sorry, I got distracted by the Twitch chat. I thought Wes was correcting me on something. But I've been working around issues with Unity for a while now. So I have decided to make the transition to Unreal. The problem is Unity is in C#, which I'm decent at. C++ I have never really touched aside from picking it up when I was in college and getting pissed off and frustrated and quit. So I am currently learning a whole new programming language that is confusing because it's a little bit of a different style than what I'm used to. So at the moment I am sort of overwhelmed, I'm overwhelmed with what I need to learn, but I've got a couple courses and I got some books, and I'm just gonna sit down and try to I'm gonna try to dedicate like a half an hour every night to learning the language and learning the whole new development environment that is Unreal Engine. But the nice thing is,
to Unreal 5 when they release the.
I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't.
I don't know.
I'm not gonna get involved in the argument of which is better, Unity or Unreal, because there are things for both platforms that are better than the other. I would say they can both do the same things. Some things you have to put more work into on one system than the other, and that goes both ways. But
from listening to you, like knowing you and talking to you about this stuff, like this is my layman take on it is, Unity is better, but Unreal is more user friendly.
No, I would say if you're going for like mobile games, 2D games, Unity's probably your better option. Unreal is better at I would say is better at 3D environmental games like shooters or things like that. Like I said, both can do both things. Unreal, their graphics just kind of out of the box are set up better. Like it looks more realistic straight out of the box. Like you don't have to do all these crazy adjustments. For Unity, you can make a game look great, but you have to kind of do it manually, I guess is the way you want to say it. There are just different things for each platform. Obviously, right now, Unity is easier for me because I know the C# programming language decently, and I know the environment of Unity. But let me get back to you in about 6 months once I actually figure out how to navigate through Unreal. I would say Unity is definitely more user friendly as far as learning the environment. But I'm in the Unity mindset trying to learn Unreal, so it's a little weird. But that's all I've got right now. Probably for the next few weeks, you'll probably just hear a lot of C++ and Unreal talk from me as far as my plate goes. Maybe a game thrown in here or there, depending on how frustrated I get on the courses and reading. I may take a break, but I don't have anything else that I can think of, so I'll pass it on to you, Jeremiah.
Played Peggle 2 because I downloaded that.
Peggle? Is that what you said?
Yeah, have you guys ever played Peggle?
Yeah, 10, 15 years ago.
Well, the second one is on EA Origins, and I was like, I'm going to play that because Peggle's awesome. So,
I didn't know that game still existed.
Yeah, it does. It's great still. Like, it's amazing. They made the characters or the you know how like
what was it like it was like a unicorn or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, like that was the main one.
Yeah,
but like they made them more. I guess like character, like have attributes and stuff like that. So like if you like fucking miss like your shot, like you don't hit anything, like the unicorn farts and it's funny. Like, I don't know. It's Peggle. Like it's great.
My experience with Peggle is when I was in high school, they introduced the notebook, like the netbooks. Everybody got their own little netbook.
Oh yeah, they came preloaded.
And there was like a bootleg version of Peggle going around, so everybody was just playing Peggle in class.
Peggle's great,
and that's how I know Peggle.
I want to say it came preloaded on.
Go play Peggle.
I want to say it came preloaded on like some Microsoft systems that.
It might have been, yeah. Like I can't remember the first time I played Peggle. I think I like bought it for like $5 back. No, it was.
I do. It was on my HP laptop that had horrible integrated graphics, and it barely ran on it, even though they put it on there preloaded.
But yeah, Peggle. I've been playing that because it's Peggle. I love Peggle. Like I don't know why I love Peggle. I just do. So yeah, Peggle 2, excuse me. I've been playing the second one because it was on EA Origins because I got that for a month for $1. I deleted Madden because it's fucking terrible. Yeah, like I don't see how people pay $60 every year for that game.
So that is violently and intentionally no longer on your plate.
That is like John in our Discord made a "What's on your plate" in our Discord chat, and the first thing I put before anyone else is like "fuck Madden." It's a bad game.
Yeah.
I deleted it, and I just wanted this to be the first ever chat in our chat, or first ever message in this chat. Yeah, like I said earlier, they just focused way too much on that stupid card game bullshit that's in it, and the rest of the game's just not like, I mean, it's an okay football game, but I mean, it just like it honestly, it looks the same as the last time I played Madden, which was like 2010. It feels like it doesn't look any different, which is sad, like whatever. And they do have an import feature, which is weird. You know how we're always talking about how sports games should just like have import like current rosters and all that stuff? That is legitimately an option on Madden, like when you start a new career or franchise.
Are we always talking about that?
Yeah, anytime we talk about sports games and how they should be like $20 with the import feature, and they only should come out with a new version once they upgrade the graphics engine. This is a conversation we've had multiple times, John. Do you not remember the things I say on here?
I don't play enough sports games to care.
Fair. But yeah,
I play extreme sports.
Anyway, yeah, Madden's bad. I deleted it after like 3 days.
Is the game bad, or is it just the same as all the other Madden? So it's like, yeah.
It's mostly the same, but like
I'll
I said,
say, 'cause
it's
from
like
my
they
experience,
put all their resources and efforts into the Madden Ultimate Team, so the rest of the game suffers because of it.
I mean, it's basically the same code since like '95, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So, and it's not looking any better on the next gen systems either. But
It's looking sweatier, isn't it? Isn't that
No,
what we
that's
decided?
NBA.
Oh, that's NBA.
That's NBA. I did download UFC 3, the one with Conor McGregor on the cover. I think that came out in 2018. I played that, and it's better than the second UFC game that came out. I remember playing the first UFC game back in the day, and that was a lot of fun. And then the second UFC game came out, and because they were doing like they were trying to do yearly UFCs.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one, I remember playing a create a character, because that's the first thing I do in all these games. It's like create a character, and I play through career. Like you only had 3 moves, and they were like a jab, a straight, and a kick, and that's it. You couldn't even like grapple, and you had to like train your person, and so you were losing every fight. And I'm like, no, if you go into the UFC, you kind of know how to